Across the United States, ghostly relics of a bygone era sit silently. Forgotten schools, crumbling factories, empty theaters, and entire ghost towns. Abandoned places tell stories without words, echoing with the whispers of lives once lived, ambitions once realized, and histories left behind. Why does America have so many of these abandoned corners, and what secrets do they hold? To understand this phenomenon, we have to start at the height of expansion and growth in America. Take, for example, Gary, Indiana, a city born in 1906 to house workers for the world's largest steel mill. Gary was booming, grand theaters and stately mansions lined its streets. But as the industry faltered in the latter half of the 20th century, so too did the city. Today, the once glorious Gary Public Schools Memorial Auditorium stands as a hollow shell, its windows shattered, its halls silent but for the occasional footsteps of urban explorers. Then there's Centralia, Pennsylvania, a town with a story straight out of a dystopian novel. Once a thriving coal mining community, it was undone by a fire. In 1962, an underground coal seam caught fire and has been smoldering ever since. Toxic smoke seeped into homes, roads cracked open, and Centralia's population dwindled from over 1,000 to just a handful of residents today. The town is eerily quiet now, but beneath its surface that fire is still burning, an invisible, unstoppable force that mirrors the town's fate. One of the most poignant examples of abandonment might be the movie palaces of the early 20th century. These ornate theaters were built to awe, with glittering chandeliers and grand stages, serving as cultural beacons in their communities. But with the rise of suburban multiplexes and streaming services, many of these majestic spaces have fallen into ruin. Somewhere in Michigan, the Michigan Theater in Detroit now serves as a parking garage, a surreal reminder of how progress often walks hand in hand with forgetting. But why do these places captivate us? Part of it is the allure of what once was, the words that were spoken, the lives that played out, the dreams that rose and fell. These spaces are like time capsules holding within them the echoes of eras most of us will never know. They remind us that nothing, no empire, no building, no community is permanent. And yet there's also beauty in the decay. The cracked plaster and overgrown vines are a kind of art in themselves, nature's reclamation of what humanity abandoned. They force us to confront questions about our own impermanence and what we leave behind. As you walk down the deserted main street of a ghost town in the West, or step inside a crumbling hospital overtaken by ivy, it's hard not to feel a shiver. Part awe, part melancholy. These abandoned places hold stories we can only guess at, but perhaps that's part of their magic. They're not dead. They're simply waiting for someone to listen. In the end, America's abandoned places aren't just cautionary tales or eerie backdrops. They're monuments. Monuments to ambition, failure, and time itself, silently urging us to remember that one day, everything we build will return to the earth. The question is, what stories will we leave behind?